my chickadees! Happy New Year! This is our first video of 2024 and hopefully it's going to be amazing. We're jumping back into Sacrarium Gelus and let's see if we can have a good ending, okay? I want the giant to like us and us not die, okay? Oh, you guys might notice something's different. Look at our new outfit. Yes, this was custom made for Sparrow, so I matched the room now. Okay. We're gonna jump on in. So if you haven't seen the other part, I suggest you hop on over to the channel and watch it. It was really long. It was like an hour and a half. So you are all caught up on what we're doing now, and we're just gonna dive back in. All right, we're in one of the God's spare room, I do believe. Heimos? It's been a while, I'm sorry. Heimos proved to be true to his word. He brought me a mixture of food and medicine before I drifted off. When I woke up later, I was still in his room, still alive. The curse mark continued to ache, but my other symptoms were calmer. I felt well enough to even eat at the collection of fruit and vegetables left for me. My hand straight up to my forehead. It no longer burned, but I could feel the faint presence of something sticking there. Not physically, more like I felt it in my soul. I felt slightly chilly as a result. What did he do to me? Apparently saved our life, or extended our life at least. My curiosity helped give me the strength to get out of bed. Heimos was nowhere to be seen in the main antechamber. The door opposite of the bedroom was ajar. I gently pressed a hand to the door. It swung open. The circular room wrapped around a pillar of ice that rested on a blanket of odd-looking flowers and grass. Bookshelves stood tall on every wall. Heimos? I called out. Come in. Oh. This is pretty cool. He has like this huge library. And look at our pretty boy. He's so pretty. Oh, I forgot what voice I gave him. Heimos was in the back of the room, hunched over a desk and examining something under a magnifying glass. He didn't look up at me as I approached. One moment. I decided to let my eyes wander a bit. The giant pillar of ice in the library felt so out of place. It should have been making this place freezing cold, but the air remained cozy. I watched the streaks of energy move through the ice, chasing streaks of black smoke. There. Heimos put some tools down and turned to look at me. I had pulled my eyes away to meet his gaze. What did you need? What did you do to me? In what sense? I pointed to my forehead. A spell. I gathered that much. What part of it are you curious about? What's going on with my body? You are suspended in time currently, to halt the disease. Wait, so I'm not aging? Physically, no. Mentally, yes. You're still aware of time passing. If I didn't do this, the disease would rapidly spread and cause havoc. But it's just a disease, right? Exactly. Please do not go jumping off cliffs or beheading yourself. Look at that face. He is honestly concerned we will. You're frozen in time, not invulnerable. There's a difference? A big one. I see. Does this take a lot of energy to maintain? Yes, it does. Mortal beings would rapidly wither if they tried it. But it's nothing to you? Not nothing, just not a lot either. You're frozen while still experiencing symptoms. Which means, if you don't take your medicine, the symptoms will flare up. I nodded in understanding. That's all there is to it. So that's why he was so confident I would be fine. I see. It's my duty to heal the sick. If that is all, Heimos moved to turn back to his work. I have another question. Heimos turned back around immediately. He was like, okay, I'm going back to work. And we're like, whoa, 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 whoa. We got more questions. Yes. Do you know how I got cursed? Off the top of my head, no. Could we figure it out? Yes. There's only so many ways for it to occur. First of all, it isn't divine retribution. How do you know that? The shape is wrong. Divine retribution always bears the shape of the god or goddess who gave it to you. Simple circles belong to devils. I see. What's after that? Deals with devils. You don't seem to be the type, though. I'm not. Not that... Did you buy anything new recently? Could be something very plain. A new brush or a new pair of shoes. No, I hadn't needed to. Not a cursed object, then. All that's left is a grudge. A grudge? Some human souls can taint the living in a way similar to devils after death. This tainting process makes curse marks. Has anyone important to you died recently? Family? Lover? I thought about it. Death wasn't an uncommon thing in Andiel in general. Someone close to me, though? No, not that I know of. I amended the statement when my heart twisted at the thought of Edith. That you know of. It wouldn't be related to this. When I was cast out, an older friend of mine tried to defend me. The priest ordered an exorcism. The barbaric rituals of the Southern Church. Heimos recognized the problem immediately. She's older. Yeah. Would you like me to check on her? I was floored by the offer. You can't leave the mountain. Technically, that's complicated. For more simple solution, Heimos gestured up to the rafters where a variety of ravens rested. Oh, he can send out the ravens to go spy. Oh, that's good. We can see if our friend's still alive. Oh, man. Yeah. They were going to exorcise the people that resist, which aka just pretty much killing them too. They can, and I can borrow their eyes. Could you? Heimos nodded. His eyes glowed faintly and some of the birds flew away. Let me focus. Okay. We stood in silence for a while. Heimos' glowing eyes flickered back and forth while watching things I couldn't see. Describe her to me. I did so, hoping that I was doing a good job. Heimos let out a pleased noise. She's alive. My shoulders sagged in relief. Heimos winced. She's very loud. Yep, that's her. She always is. The power in his eyes faded and he looked at me once more. Thank you, Heimos. It's not a problem and required minimal effort. Even though he said that, I saw him rub his temple. His eyes were slightly bloodshot now. He continued on before I could ask about it. She's obviously not the culprit. I crossed my arms and tried to think. The marks seem to have developed for about 3 weeks, if that helps. Immediately, one death sprung to mind. Eric? The Mason's son? Why are you looking at me like I can say yes or no? Right, you wouldn't know him. Did he die around that time? He did. He died in a bar fight about 3 weeks ago. He took a bad blow to the head and his brain bled out on the inside. Was he a friend? No, just a neighbor. He had a less than pleasant personality. I tried to be polite and avoid him mostly. Avoid him? Does that mean he tried to talk to you? I nodded. He never crossed the line, so I didn't think too much about it. We did get into an argument the day he died, though. He certainly seems like our culprit. If he had a one-sided attraction to you, it could explain the curse being a plague. How? Obsessive jealousy to make sure no one else would want you after his death. Whoa, 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 whoa. You think he had a crush on us? And now he doesn't want no one to come near us? He may have a crush on us. I wasn't expecting that. I was like, what did we do to you, dude? Did we get in an argument? And then you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna curse you for eternity now. Like, how are we gonna prove that? I let out a disgusted noise. It's quite common for lust-based curse marks to be plagues due to that sentiment. Vile. It is. I shuddered and felt my skin crawl. Oh, I can't save. Oh, I forgot about that. I'm not even interested in relationships. I'm not even attracted to men. I wasn't attracted to him at all. We are interested in a relationship with this boy. You are a man. We are interested in you. So we're gonna go this route. I wasn't attracted to him at all. I thought I made it clear too. Some men are too stupid to take the hint. Even if you hit them with it. Speaking from experience, of course. I'm not ugly. That's the only real limitation for a man of my status back home. He surprisingly didn't sound smug, just matter of fact. I chewed on the revelation. He knows he's not ugly. He's confident in that, but he's not smug about it. All it takes is one asshole to ruin your life. And he doesn't even have to be alive to do it. How does that even happen? Do you really want to know? Yes, kinda, no. Kinda? A little. The short version? I don't know how much I'd understand of the long version. Oh, so yes was a long, detailed version, and this is just gonna be a summary. Understandable. Heimos thought about the answer before continuing. Human souls linger for a time after death. During this time, they can taint the souls of the still living humans. Is it a natural problem? Yes and no. That's vague. That's the short version. Heimos shrugged a shoulder at me. The sounds of bird wings flapping interrupted our conversation. Heimos watched as a raven landed, depositing a small scroll case on his desk. He scowled darkly at it. Bad news? No, an annoying cinder. I hate to say this, but I do need to deal with that. Is it urgent? More so in the sense that the cinder is impatient and prone to dangerous pranks. Heimos gestured for me to follow him. He walked me to the door of the library. Please stay out the library until I exit it again. I don't know what is in that case, and I'd rather you not find out. Is the cinder that bad? Worse. Heimos sighed. Apologies for our conversation being interrupted. We can continue later if you wish. Alright. Thank you, Heimos. He gave me a polite, partial bow of acknowledgement before shutting the library door. He's like, listen, I don't know if something in there is gonna danger you, so, please wait outside. It just making me think that what if he's like in contact with like a Loki type character that's just like half in pranks along with anything else. Oh no. So it's clear he's staying in contact with a lot of people, which is kind of cool that he's not like completely isolated. I felt better having some answers about what was going on. There was no way I could tell Derek that his son had done to me from the grave. It would absolutely shatter him. He was already broken after losing Eric. I felt horrible knowing that Eric was even worse than Derek knew. He already knew his son was unpopular, but this was on a different level. I had to make sure nobody found out about this. For Derek's sake, at least. I sat down on the furred bench inside. There are many things I need to think about regarding home. At least now, I would have the time to do it. The Sacrarium had more space inside it than I imagined. A network of dark hallways sprawled through the mountain. It was freeing to go many places, but there was a few that Heimos forbade me from entering. I didn't mind the limitation. There's a small garden to enjoy, full of fruits and vegetables. The bathing room mercifully had hot water. One thing I noticed quickly was that there wasn't much to do. Heimos had buried himself behind a wall of books at any point in time. For me, there was no immediate equivalent. I tried to find things to do. I just couldn't spend the next few weeks bored out of my mind. Heimos, my dude, throw me a book. Throw me a book or a task to do. We're going stir crazy already. Yay! Eventually, Heimos noticed my restlessness. Is something wrong? You sounded concerned. No, nothing's wrong. Just restless. Huh. There isn't much to do here, is there? Heimos scratched at his cheek with a single claw. I don't often entertain guests. I assumed. I mean, the legends speak for themselves. Heimos nodded. What did you do back home? Mostly? Worked. I was the only baker in town. It's odd not to be working for a change. Would baking make you feel more comfortable? It'd be something to do. There's an oven here. I could feel my eyes light up. There is? Come with me. Heimos led me to the tapestry that hid the kitchen from the main antechamber. The kitchen was a tight, crowded space for Heimos alone. With two of us in here, we were practically touching. Heimos pushed aside some beads dangling and revealed another tiny room. It had an oven tucked into a wall. I don't use it often, but you can feel free to. Really? Sure. It's not like you can burn this place down after all. Thank you, Heimos. It's not a problem. Perhaps we can include whatever you make as part of our meals. Heimos paused. On that note, would you prefer to eat together? I'm a busy individual, but I do still eat. Perhaps taking over meals would help pass the time? Talking over meals would help pass the time? He sounded awkward while offering, like he never had to think about this before. Oh, yes, I want to share meals with you. I want to share meals with you so we can, like, have conversations, buddy. He didn't sound like he hated the idea, though. I would like to. That would be nice. It would definitely help pass the time. Very well, then. Oh, is he blushing? Ah, he's blushing. Heimos nodded in an obvious attempt not to look flustered. I'm not the best at remembering to eat. You might need to remind me when I need to cook. I can do that. Good. Heimos took the time to show me where a few important things were in the kitchen. Then he disappeared to continue his work. Even with my new forms of entertainment, my thoughts strayed to home often. The first few times I got teary. After that, my mood just became heavy. It was depressing to realize how little they made me feel. I also worried for those who stood up for me. I could only hope that O'Clarin stopped at just the exorcisms. I shook my head and got back from where I was sketching to pass the time. My body needed to move, so I stepped out of the bedroom. Yeah, O'Clairden was what was it, like the priest or whatever, that has no spiritual energy whatsoever, got in because his family knows somebody. So, like, the worst person to possibly protect our town. And is power hungry. My body needed to move, so I stepped out of the bedroom. To my surprise, Heimos wasn't in the library. He sat on the ground in front of the fire, watching it with heavy-lidded eyes. His hands were idly knitting something. A few of the ravens had gathered on his lap. Blue eyes lazily trailed over to me when the door shut behind me. What? You knit? You don't? I love that. It's just like, you don't? He didn't sound accusatory, merely curious. No, not really. Edith knits most of my things. Interesting. Knitting and sewing were required skills for everyone in Mortal. He turned his attention back to his work. I wasn't sure if I necessarily wanted to talk about knitting. I was sure that I didn't want to think about home, and Heimos seemed open to talking. I walked over and sat down on the bench, keeping some space between us. Heimos didn't react to my presence. Why was it required? We all had to learn a lot of basic skills in case we got separated from the caravan. The Mord really traveled by constant caravan? Many scholars argued over that. Oh yeah, I remember his race. He's been imprisoned in this mountain for a very, very long time, and his race kind of died out while he was gone. Some thought it was impossible for people to constantly keep on the move in a near tundra. Others thought that claiming otherwise contradicted all evidence. It was necessary. We had to follow our food in more ways than one. Oh? Earth elementals would make pockets of unfrozen land. We would gather around these pockets for a season or two to grow crops. Then it would be used up, and we need to find the next one. It was a hard life, but it was ours. Heimos sighed. I even made sure to reduce the freeze to make gardens more common. Excuse me? I blinked at him. What? You can't casually mention affecting the weather in an entire region like that. It's simple enough if you do have the power. The human in me wanted to hit him for making it sound so simple. I decided to focus on clarifying things to avoid smacking the back of his head. You're why Andela can farm now? The Emperor saw the change in weather as proof of the divine favoring his ascension. Well, that's a disgusting thought. It was certainly not the gods who did it, it was me. I wanted to make their lives easier, foul cretin brat. His knitting needles moved faster with his annoyance. Are you referring to the first Emperor as a brat? He was a young upstart, a folk legend, and a hero to those in the Empire. A sniveling, arrogant brat, yes. I had the displeasure of meeting him once. I should have killed him. Heimos sighed. Things are always clearer in hindsight. They are. I'm glad you didn't kill the first Emperor, though. I mean, would I even exist if you had? Fair point. I was surprised he conceded that. What emperor is your empire on now? The 10th. Mostly because the 4th and 8th emperors died young. It's always strange to hear about the passage of time. Must feel like an eternity. It doesn't, which is why it feels weird. It doesn't. I already felt like a small century had passed despite it only being a few days. I'm not aware of time passing unless a human is in proximity, due to the fact time herself ignores me. Could you expand on that a bit more? It's like, yeah, can you explain that a bit more? I love how, like, it goes in detail about, like, all this. He had a bad habit of skipping over relevant information. The goddess of time removed me from her awareness. Her awareness is what caused humans to be aware of time passing. Her awareness is why you know how many minutes have passed and how soon it is until your next task. She doesn't cause us to age physically? That is her husband, Death. His awareness causes the human body to decay. Together, they cause age and injury. Perfect immortality is when both of them are unaware of you. Like you. Heimos nodded. Like me. Oh, he don't look happy. For me, only 2 years have passed due to the number of guests I've had. 2 years? He's been here for like hundreds of years, or thousands of years. And it's only been 2 years for him. So, does he only like age in a little bit whenever he's around someone that can age? Like it has an effect on him? During your stay here, I will be aware of the month passing by. When you leave, I'll be none the wiser once more. He spoke about it so casually, so calmly, that I almost didn't process the extra layer of tragedy. To Heimos, he had only been away from his people for 2 years. Oh, so actually realizing how much time has passed, that's what he means. So it only feels like 2 years? Holy crap. That would be trippy. My sympathy died quickly. Why? That's horrible. I'm sorry. Heimos gave me a faint and sad smile. It's a mercy, in a way. The mortal mind cannot withstand eternity. We break eventually. Not being aware of time is why I'm still sane. That only helps so much. I mean, damn. If I found out my people were dead after only 2 years passing. I shook my head. How are you so calm? My profession required perfect emotional control at all times. I feel the pain deeply, but there's always work to be done. It's a sad way to live. It is. Heimos shrugged. A heavy pause lingered in the air. I doubt you came to talk about my woes. What brought you out here? I fought the urge to sigh as he deflected the focus back on me. Home. Home? I can't stop thinking about it. It's a common train of thought. It's depressing to think about. Heimos' hand stopped moving. I had his full attention. I'm sorry. I let out a surprised chuckle at that. What are you apologizing for? It's not like you've left me in the snow. A fable saved me when my own people didn't. It was a laughable display, really. That doesn't mean I can't be sympathetic. I doubt you expected this to happen. I didn't. I never thought about curse marks. They just seemed to be a problem I needed to worry about. Every other time I've been sick, they've been there. Anytime I needed them, they had my back. But this time, when I arguably needed them the most, I couldn't even finish the thought as ice-cold misery sunk into me. Heimos shifted from where he was sitting. He reached out his human hand and patted my knee. It's all right to be upset about it. It's a devastating thing, betrayal. That's what it is, isn't it? I felt my eyes burn. Yes. Damn it. I rubbed at them. It's alright to cry. Well, that did it. Heimos waited patiently for me to finish babbling and sniffing. He didn't seem judgmental at all. Yeah, I mean, he got kicked out by his village. So I do see where, like, he would feel betrayal because they were just like, yep, you leaving. Of course, there were some people that stood up for us, but, like, the other people, or the, oh man, I forgot what it was. It was like the priest or whatever. It was basically going to kill all them that stood up for us, so. His normally stoic expression softened with pity. I wrangled my emotions in at some point. Once my sniffles faded, Heimos handed me a handkerchief. Better? Not really. Heimos gave me a sad smile. Yes, does take a bit longer, doesn't it? Take the time you need. I nodded. After that, Heimos and I idly chatted for a bit longer. We mostly talked about Andela versus Mortal, comparing and contrasting our lives. Heimos was a walking, talking history book, and I made sure to ask him important questions. Heimos surprised me by asking me about the history he had missed. Our casual conversation turned into a history lecture of sorts. I didn't have the time to grow bored, though. Heimos had to leave to tend to something. Frankly, it was surprising to see him not working for as long as I had. Heimos might not be the most comforting person, but he had tried. It was nice to know that he could feel empathy to some degree. It helped me settle a little more comfortably into my temporary stay. Alright, we are going to end here today. Boop. Ooh, extras? I forgot we had extras. Oh, we've only got 2 unlocked. Oh, yeah, we have a ton of endings. Oh, goodness. Friend end? Okay, I am aiming for a romantic end first, okay? Hopefully we'll get a romantic end and not a bad end. I'm trying. I am trying so hard. Well, thank you for joining me for this episode. I hope you guys liked it. I've still got a lot of questions. Ooh, excuse me. About the world. I'm excited to see what happens. I hope we get a good ending first. The link to the game is going to be down below. Just copy, paste it, and get rid of the space. And there you go. Go give this dev some support. They are amazing. I love their games. And, well, happy 2024, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!